What's up, guys? On my way to the gym as usual when I make these videos. I want to talk about the sugar diet that I'm seeing videos for some reason. Well, I'm seeing it a lot of times. I'm seeing it as reaction videos to people on YouTube, by people on YouTube who are carnivores, about the sugar diet. And it's when I put my own 2 cents in it. I think we have a problem in the carnivore community. It's a perception problem. And the problem is that too many people think that carnivore is a fad. It's a fad diet. Or people think that it's a temporary, like it's like a means to an end. You know, like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds, I'll go carnivore. And if you have a roach infestation, and you could call the exterminator, and the exterminator will get rid of your roaches. But if you keep your kitchen filthy all the time, if you don't clean your kitchen up, if you don't clean your house up, if you don't clean up the stuff that you left around that attracted the roaches, they're just going to come back. And same with any kind of temporary solution to a health outcome that you have. Carnivore is not a means to an end. It's not. You have to. It's a lifestyle. Carnivore is what humans are supposed to be eating. I can prove that in court. You can throw all your data and your studies and all of your nonsense. Nutritional studies, nutritional science is not science, it's theology. There is no way to control for human behavior in any way that is anywhere close to the scientific standard, to the scientific method. It's impossible. You would have to abduct humans at birth and keep them, interned for their entire lives or for significant periods of time against their will, controlling for every aspect of their behavior, except the variable, because everything a human does throughout his day, throughout his week, throughout his life, affects health outcomes. Your stress levels, when you eat, what you eat, how often you sleep, when you go to sleep, how much sunlight you get. There's endless variables that could affect outcomes. You cannot control for that, and if you can't control for that, then the data is useless. It's not even close to science. And yet, entire industries are built around this completely useless science. And not only is the science useless on its foundation, but then the data and the inputs have been manipulated, have been paid for, so that it's nothing but marketing disguised as science, all of it. And even the ones you'll never see me cite a scientific study, even if it, like I'm a carnivore, even if it promotes carnivore as a way of life. It's a healthy way of life of carnivore can do this, carnivore does that. I'll never cite a study that says that because it's freaking useless. I don't care what it says. The study is useless on its face. And you literally cannot do a study well enough in nutritional science to make it valid because you just cannot control for human behavior. So what you can study is hard science with actual repeatable controlled outcomes, like biochemistry and biology, which shows what happens in the human body when you consume certain nutrients, and all of that points exclusively to a meat-based diet, to a fully meat-based diet, very low carbohydrates, if any. You can make arguments for you can eat in-season vegetables and fruits. But in-season vegetables and fruits are very scarce in the wild, and they're very limited in the wild. And yet, you can eat bananas, which are not found in the wild, not what you find in the grocery store. You can eat them every single day of the year, every year of your life. It's on the grocery store shelves. I've never not seen bananas in the grocery store. And that's not natural, okay? So you have to stop, and these influencers, first of all, they have to stop pushing carnivore as a way to lose weight. You should never try and lose weight on the carnivore diet. You will lose weight on the carnivore diet, but that should not be the actual goal of being on a carnivore diet. The whole philosophy of carnivore is that if you're not on the carnivore diet, then you are eating an improper human diet. and then literally everything that is wrong with you is likely caused by that. I mean, there's other environmental issues like the pesticides, like the chemtrails, like the EMF signals that you're bombarded with on the day-to-day. But most of what is wrong with you is caused by your lifestyle, by what you're putting in your body, and by what you're doing or not doing. If you're sedentary and you're eating nothing but ultra-processed foods, then that's a very obvious cause and effect. And there's a way to remedy that permanently by not eating ultra-processed foods ever again, which means you're eating probably a meat-based diet, a whole food meat-based diet, and then you get off your ass and move a little bit, get some sunlight, touch grass. So we really need to stop promoting the image that this is just something you can do temporarily, to fix something. Like you're bringing your car to the mechanic or something to fix a timing belt or something. Like that's not what carnivore is. Carnivore is not a remedy. It's not a means to an end. It's a lifestyle. It's what you're supposed to be eating, how you're supposed to be eating and living as a human being, with your innate biology and biochemistry and physiology. Everything that you have and don't have that makes you different from even, from any herbivore on Earth, including herbivore primates like gorillas. You are not a gorilla, guys. So it's an image problem, it's a perception problem, and we need to stop promoting the perception just to get clicks and likes. And we need to stop, and we really need to stop playing in this game of data and like, well, this study says, this, and this study, this study says, cholesterol is bad for you, but I've got a study here that says cholesterol is good for you. Like, just stop. Cholesterol cannot be bad for you because meat and cholesterol-heavy foods are your species-appropriate food, according to biology and biochemistry. Not to mention, anthropology, where they study the chemistry of the bones of our ancestors that proved exclusively that they were hypercarnivorous apex predators for millions of years before agriculture. Relatively recent invention of humans. I saw a show on anthropologists studying human activity in the Americas, and the way that they find out how early, like the earliest that they could tell that a human being has been in some part of the world, is they look for animal bones, ancient animal carcass bones, and they look for signs of human interaction with like tools and weapons. They look for damage to the bones from human weapons and tools, from like when they butchered the animal or when they killed the animal. That's how they tell that humans were in an area. They look for animals that the humans killed and ate. So I mean, like, if you want to go get your clicks, that's why I probably have like 6 subscribers, because I'm not pushing studies. I'm not telling you how to lose weight. I'm telling you how to be an optimal human being. And that is that you should never, ever, ever consume. There's certain things you should never consume, and one of those is grains. Grains and corn, cereal grains, corn. Never consume those. They're just not food for humans. And I mean, consuming broccoli is not the worst thing you can do. But it depends how optimal you want to live. But you should definitely be on a high-fat, meat-based diet, period. And your carbohydrates intake should be very low, which it will be very low if all you eat is green vegetables, because it's very fibrous. You can't digest fiber. So most of the carbohydrates in fibrous vegetables are indigestible. So it doesn't cause a blood sugar spike for you. It just goes right through you. It causes all kinds of other problems. If you want to avoid those, that's why I say less vegetables is more optimal. Yeah, so I don't know. take of that as you will. We have to start promoting an optimal, proper human lifestyle rather than just putting carnivore in a basket full of other fads and tricks to lose weight. You know what I mean? Because if you're eating nothing but sugar, the whole sugar diet is based on the idea that, you know, well, I eat nothing but meat and lost weight, so I'll show you I can eat nothing but sugar and lose weight, and it just becomes like a dick measuring contest about which fad diet, you know, can also make you lose weight. You can probably lose weight eating Twinkies if you want. They probably do eat Twinkies on the sugar diet. I don't know. I didn't look into it because it's absurd on its face. But you are definitely going to end up with some heart disease issues and probably cancer and or both when you're eating that much sugar, because it is demonstrably harmful to your body. Cancer loves sugar. Why do you think they give you radioactive glucose when they're looking for a tumor? Because the tumor sucks it all up, and then when you get in that machine, whatever it is, it lights up like a Christmas tree where the tumor is, because the tumor is sucking up all that glucose, and it's radioactive, and it shows up on the screen. And sugar in your blood causes immense damage to your arteries, or your blood vessels, both of your blood vessels. But you end up with arterial sclerosis in the arteries because the blood pressure is higher in those arteries, in the arteries than there are in the veins. So the areas where the blood vessel bifurcates, where the artery splits into two, you get a lot of turbulence in the blood there, and then that turbulence, and with the high blood pressure, with the blood sugar, causes causing the glycation. You know, the cell wall, the arterial walls are damaged by the sugar glycation, and then just getting pounded in those areas with the high blood pressure and the turbulence causes the arteriosclerotic plaque. That's heart disease. And anybody who has heart disease has diabetes, whether you're type 2 diabetes, whether you're diagnosed or not. So, and what causes type 2 diabetes? Chronic overconsumption of sugar, which causes chronically elevated blood sugar. And that is the definition. Chronically elevated blood sugar and nothing else is the definition of type 2 diabetes. And you get chronically elevated blood sugar by over-consuming carbohydrates, which are all sugar. So that goes right back to the sugar diet. If you're consuming nothing but sugar, you might get ripped. The guy on the sugar diet is absolutely ripped. I don't know how he did it. Could be like one of those vegan bodybuilders where he got absolutely jacked and then went vegan and say, look how jacked I am as a vegan. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy. I don't want to know. He's a charlatan. He's a freaking clown shoe. But I'll guarantee you, if that guy is really on a sugar diet, his insides are being ripped to shreds right now, guys. And that's a problem that we have. We're partly to blame in the carnivore community. All these influencers who are pushing carnivore as a means to an end, lose weight for the summer on the carnivore diet. You know, like most people would probably rather lose weight eating sugar because it's 8 times more addictive than cocaine. They would probably rather lose weight on a sugar diet than they would eating nothing but meat and eggs and butter. So, and that's our fault. Like as a community, in the aggregate, you'll never hear me push it as a method to lose weight, because weight is only an outward symptom, an outward show of a much deeper metabolic dysfunction. A lot of people have the same metabolic dysfunctions as obese people do, and they're skinny. Call them skinny fat. You know, so you don't have to be obese to be metabolically unhealthy, and just because you're metabolically unhealthy doesn't mean you'll be obese. So we have an image problem. We have a perception problem. We need to get our shit together. All right. So love you guys. I'm going to work out.